Happy Thursday, everybody. This is your favorite crypto trading show, Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch. We got B. Wellington on the charts. We've got a really choppy looking market going on, but I think we can come up with some solutions after we get through all this information. And happy September to all the Virgos out there.
I'm not gonna dox you, but you're one of them. You're a Virgo as well, so happy birthday month
Thank you.
on that end. So just looking at the market, so normally we used to look at the daily, but I want to go back to the daily just because we're kind of at that point, where we're right below the 50 on the daily, and so we've dropped below here, right? But we haven't really come down to these peaks on the downside, which this peak right here is kind of at this 1353. So we're just kind of in the middle of this range. I mean, if you look at this range here, we could kind of go any way, any direction. That's really going to depend on the liquidity up top or below, but they've been really choppy and tricky relative to what they want to take out, and as far as price direction, things of that nature. And so we still have this peak up here. We'll probably at some point recover. The what I would say would make the most sense right now, because we have such a bearish sentiment in the market, would be to retest these areas. We also have the 200 on the daily coming up. If we break that peak, then we've got a vector here that we recover, and then it's you're looking really at 26, 2700. But with the Fed meeting coming up, this month, not sure if we're going to get all the way up to those particular areas, but just understand that we're in the middle of this range and it is pretty choppy at this point in time. So from a daily standpoint, the trend is your friend. We really are kind of in the middle of that trend as well. So if we hop down into the hourly, a little closer time frame, even the activity this morning has not been all that. We've had some activity, and I mean, we got up to 1580s and then dropped down to 1550s, right? We're kind of, the market's just opening right now, so we're experiencing a little bit of a pop to the upside. We've got this vector candle here. This blue or candle next to it is kind of a directional volume changing channel. So then you've got this this big red candle here, not big red, but kind of almost kind of a doji candle, a directional changing candle to the downside. But we're holding above this 50. This vector candle is coming off of the 50 on the 1 hour, kind of hit the 200 and is rejected back. It's actually recovered more of this candle here to the left as far as this red candle is concerned. So I mean, if I had to pick to a downside, I mean, we've been popping the lows here for a while, but we still have this vector candle here. We're also the psychological highs down here. I mean, if I had to take a even though I'm not a high probability trade, I would say, but I would have to say that we'll probably move to the downside today. You've got RSI on the our indicator here that's pretty high on the 1 hour. There's not a whole lot of volume coming in. I think folks are somewhat preparing for the volatility that's going to come by the end of this week, but I would imagine that we probably move to the downside. We've got 5.2 billion in OI. We were like 5.4 billion yesterday. If we kind of look at the chart that I like to take a look at, this is on the 30-minute. We can take a look at the hourly. As you can see, OI has been kind of moving down as we've chopped in this range. So, really haven't had a strong reaction relative to OI since kind of in this area when we came down and initially started taking it. Eventually, this price action is probably going to move up to try to get OI engaged. But, based off of this chart, I would say that we probably have some short-term action to the upside, right? So I know I just said that we're probably going to the downside, but this chart looks like we're kind of going to the upside based upon this move to the downside of OI. and you've got, kind of spot moving below your stable coin and your coin margin perps. And so that would indicate to me that spot may start to tick to the upside, try to build some OI and some momentum. But, you know, going back on this chart, going back to the 14-minute, just to kind of confirm some things. I mean, we could move to the upside. I mean, we had these two moves to the downside, and then we made this new high here. So conceivably, if we bounce from this area, we can move up to this area, and then
Okay, all right.
eventually start getting to the 1622. Huh? What? Traditional markets going
I'm
down.
confused now.
I'm confused too because this chart said this chart, I like this chart because this is OI. This kind of shows
Oh, shit.
who they're trying to trap, right? We've got a lot of bear sentiment. I haven't looked at a high block. We'll look at that in a minute. I mean, that's probably going to tell a lot as well. But we might have, a pretty balanced mix of longs and shorts. Again, market's down again today. We've had some news that's come out, productivity revisions, unit cost labor revisions, right, which are below what the expectation was. Initial job claims 232,000 versus 245,000, which was expected, down from the 237,000. So employment's still looking pretty strong.
So they have
The
continuing jobless claims right there as well. So what is that? Is that jobless claims that have been filed
uh, yeah, essentially, those
and
are claims
people
that have already
are
been filed.
okay?
They're jobless, right? So so that's a positive number, but it's an initial claims number. I mean, the ADP report came back, pretty positive. So kind of mixed unemployment. All this tells me is that the Fed may go more aggressively relative to the rates when we got non-farm payrolls on Friday. That's probably the best indicator relative to jobs and the one that most people are using to make those types of decisions around what the Fed's going to do. But we'll just have to see what that looks like. But right now markets tanking, but it's really early in the session. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on here, but Ethereum, as far as Ethereum is concerned, it's moving in the opposite direction. With well, I'd say that it says it's down right here, but we've been moving up since this morning. So we're kind of moving in opposite directions. But Clutch, help me out, buddy.
I got you, dog. Don't you worry. Clutch is to the
Let's.
rescue.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of direction this morning,
I got it. So
and I'm slightly hungover, so that might not help.
maybe that's what's really going on here. Let me tell you. Crawl your ass out of bed and like, oh, gotta do this.
I was like, oh shit, the day's starting.
Okay, yeah.
What did I do last night?
Well, sometimes those are good
I
mornings.
had a good time.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
you had a great time, so you're doing good. This is High Block Capital. As you guys can see, we're about $5 billion on the positive side for the liquidations. We do have that gap, so they'll do some ranging in here to fill it up. But I do think that we're going to see more continuation to the upside. However, we may have some slight pullbacks. I got an order in over here at 1540. So that will not let those breakout traders out to the downside, and maybe trap some more for some shorts. So that's kind of where I'm looking for a long. Again, probably more ranging, but ranging slowly up to the upside. If we take a look over here at our other favorite indicator, which would be change window. Here we go. Let me know when you can see that.
I can.
Alright, so it's We got a lot of movement right now going to the upside. 1580. Looks like there's a bunch of orders right there, and we do have the weight on the on the on the CBD here to do that. So really, guys, we break above 15. We get to 1580. We break above that. Go ahead and expect higher prices. We got a big liquidation up there at 1720 to go grab. So we could maybe take off that way. But again, I think we're going to just do some ranging, flip flop around. Again, I'm looking for an entry down here, right here, 1550 for a long. If it decides to run before that, I'm going to be looking up here and see what happens at 1580 when we get into that range to see if they're just going to keep bouncing back and forth or actually have a nice move and a breakthrough. It's been a little bit since we've had a breakout to another level, so I would anticipate that we will have a big move either later today or tomorrow to finish off the week. So that's pretty much where we're at. We got the two ranges, the areas, and how to play those once we get to those areas. So again, that's well, I hope that's a little bit better.
What's today? Thursday?
Today's Thursday. All day.
Yeah, I don't know. Today.
All day. Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else to add.
We're slowly going up.
We're slowly
that's
going
what's
up.
Happening. You heard it here
Going
first.
up. You heard it here first. We're slowly
All right, guys.
going
We'll
up.
see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Stay frosty out there in the Choppy.